Marriage is one of the most important institutions in the Christian's life. This series of messages took place over Marriage Weekender 2024 at Caney Ridge Baptist Church in San Diego. Listen in and learn more and understand God's plan for marriage.
If you found Proverbs chapter 4, I'm watching the clock. We got to get moving. Proverbs chapter 4. Would you say amen or go Padres or something? If you said go Dodgers, please leave. Your marriage is hopeless. There's no help for you right now. No help for you. How many of you remember what it was like when you were dating? How many of you remember that? Now, if you're a dude, you probably did something like this. You thought about things differently. When you were dating, how many of you remember as guys, you were like, okay, I've got a date. And so you would before you left, probably before you put on your favorite shirt that you borrowed from your friend in your college dorm, you did a bunch of push-ups. How many of you remember washing the car? Like some of you washed the car till that 2-door turned into a 4-door. And you washed the car, you did push-ups, you brushed your teeth twice, you put in breath mints. Come on, can I get some amens in here? And you say, well, what'd the ladies do? I have no idea, but I've never waited so long in my life outside the front door while Debbie was still getting ready. We knew about the date for weeks in advance. I'm like, what are you doing? Growing another leg in there? I mean, come on, let's go. And you just really are working really, really hard. You planned. I remember planning a big date for Debbie. We met at Bible college, and you double date for good reasons. You had to double date because Debbie couldn't keep her hands off of me. And we had to double date, which is a great thing, by the way. And so we're double dating, and I was in college. I was making $5.75 an hour going to college, and I thought, I'm going to take her to the nicest restaurant I could imagine in San Dimas, California, Red Robin. First date, Red Robin. She ordered chicken strips and French fries. Little did I know that was the extent of her culinary palate, man. That was it. We went to Red Robin, and I put on, myself. I had a 1982 Subaru GL 4-door with speakers that I wired in the floorboard. Not cool either. Like the people sitting in the back had to put their feet around the speakers. They were like, Chris, where are we going to put our feet? Bro, you're here for the ride. Just be quiet. And so I remember the day of our first date. It's so funny to me. And so I didn't work that day, which is why we planned it on that day. And because I worked, she came from money, can't hide money. I had to work. And I didn't work that day. We're planning to go out, and I get in the shower, and I get showered up, and I'm in my room. How many remember when Drakkar the cologne was cool? Somebody said, if you're still using your car, we need to talk. That's a long time ago. You better have bought that at the Goodwill if you still have that. And if you haven't used it long enough that you have it from 1991, then there's a problem. And I put some Drakkar on, and I thought because I'm cool like this, that it might not be enough cologne. So how many of you guys went to your car and sprayed cologne in the floorboard of your car just so it smelled good? Or something like, am I the only one? No wonder you're at marriage retreat. And I did that. We get in the car. I was at Bible college, and so I was a rebel, and I'm playing Kenny G, the Silhouette CD. Some of you are like, you can't go to heaven if you listen to that. How do you remember that? Now, I played that for Debbie, and I'm like, do you like it? She goes, I don't know. All I ever grew up listening to when I was sinning was country. And so didn't quite know what to do, but man, we were preparing. We went to Red Robin, then we drove to Huntington Beach, and we walked around the boardwalk on Huntington Beach, and man, we had a great time, and we went back, and then every single date after that for the next 14 months was well thought out, well planned. The tacos at Taco Bell were purchased. The time together was there. I put a lot of effort. Debbie put a lot of effort into those early years. How many of you remember what that was like? Like, man, we really worked hard. Now, it's going to go better if you participate. I'll just keep saying the same things over and over. So you remember what it was like. And then here's what happens when we get married. Over a period of time, we become complacent. And what happens is dudes stop pursuing their spouse. Ladies stop pursuing their husbands. We begin to find nitpicky issues that when we were dating didn't matter. Didn't matter. But now I'm stuck living with this person. And there's massive problems. When I would submit to you, the major problem is you feel like you've arrived and you've stopped pursuing your spouse. So there's a really clear biblical principle in Proverbs chapter 4, verse number 23, where the Bible says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. A successful marriage requires the lifetime pursuit of my spouse's heart. A successful marriage requires the lifetime pursuit of my spouse's heart. Well, Pastor, I know people and they don't do that and they're still married. You see, I didn't say marriage requires it. I said a successful marriage requires it. There's a vast difference between being married and being happy that you're married and being successfully married. A successful marriage requires the lifetime pursuit of your spouse's heart. So I'm going to share with you tonight just a few short principles, and I really do mean that, short principles that I believe will help you. It's been a help to me, and I believe will be a help to you. Principle number one when it comes to pursuing your spouse. Principle number one, pursuing the heart of your spouse. Complacency kills. Complacency kills. Now, if you were here last year, I talked about sex a lot last year, and I want to be careful that you understand something, that when we talk about pursuing your spouse's heart, we are not talking about sex. Some of the dudes in the room, you think if my wife would just have sex with me more, everything in our marriage would be fine. You're dumb. You're foolish. I don't mean to be rude. I mean to be clear. You're foolish. And the reason you're foolish is you think a physical act will restore an emotional deficit. And it doesn't work that way. The problem in your marriage, almost in every marriage, is it starts with complacency. We become complacent with one another. The Cambridge Dictionary defines complacency as this: a feeling of calm satisfaction with your abilities or situation that prevents you from trying harder. That's the key phrase in that definition. That prevents you from trying harder. I'm totally content. I'm incredibly comfortable. I'm absolutely confident that everything's just going to stay the same. There's not going to be any problems. There's not going to be any issues. There's not going to be any challenge. I'm just good. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to eat chips. I'm going to drink soda. I'm not going to the gym anymore. I'm not writing love notes anymore. I'm just going to sit here and hang out, and we're good to go. I got her. Game's done. Game's over. Finished. Complacent. Not going to try harder. Merriam-Webster defines complacency as this: self-satisfaction, especially when accompanied by unawareness. This is, oh my soul, this is so key here. This word, self-satisfaction, especially when accompanied by unawareness of actual dangers or deficiencies. I've been pastoring for a long time, 21 years. Youth pastor, senior youth pastor for 8 years, so 29 years. And then for 2 years, I was an assistant youth pastor. So 31 years, working with parents and teens my entire life. And the number of people in marriages that I have dealt with over the years, in talking about marriage all over the country and all over, literally in other countries as well, the number of marriages that where one of the spouses or both feel self-satisfied and they are unaware of actual dangers or deficiencies, and they will not listen when you tell them that there are dangers or deficiencies. The number of folks is beyond the scope of me to count. Matter of fact, it's almost intertwined in every major marriage problem that I have. And I would submit to you that you might be able to talk to some of the other pastors in the room, and most of them go, yeah, that's pretty accurate from my perspective too. We've just grown complacent. I don't need to look good for him anymore. We're married. Why do I even try? Makeup, work out, take a shower, clean the room, clean my side of the room. Why even try? We're good. We're complacent. That's why the Bible tells us to guard our heart. That's why we're told to guard our minds. Complacency kills. Some of you, your marriages, if you're being honest right now, really need you to have a change of heart from complacency to pursuit. To pursue is to foster intimacy. To pursue is to help the relationship do better. To pursue is to bring about the opposite, or let me rephrase it. The opposite of pursuit is rejection. If I'm not pursuing something, then I'm kind of rejecting it. And I have a responsibility to pursue my wife. I have a responsibility to love my wife. I have a responsibility to care for the needs of my wife, physically, spiritually, emotionally, sexually. I have a responsibility to do that. And when I become complacent with her, really, in essence, what I'm doing is rejecting her. And I can't tell you the number of times I've talked to brothers that love Jesus, but they just don't see it and they won't see it. It's one thing if you don't see it, but you want to see it. It's another thing if you don't see it and won't see it. To where I almost get in arguments. I don't know how the other pastors are. I'm kind of known for being a passionate dude. That's kind of who I am. And it's just my nature. If you say, are you passionate about everything? Pretty much. Yeah. Talk to me about my dog food, and I'll get passionate about it. Yeah. I was talking to somebody about the kind of protein. Pastor Herring and I'm like, oh, man, I found this great new beef isolate protein because I can't take whey because I'm allergic to whey. And I've been doing vegan protein, which is fine if you want to be weak. And I found this new protein, and I'm like, man, I've been using it. It's been great, and I've loved it. And so I'm telling him, and then I'm thinking about, Chris, you should probably tone it down. It's not that big a deal. It's just stupid protein. But I'm passionate about everything. But so often I'll get passionate for a guy like, you could do this and this and this and this and this and this, and guys are just like, no, I think we're good. Why? Because you don't see it and won't see it. You don't see a problem and you won't see the problem. And then by the time you see the problem, it has become devastating in your life. My friend Anthony King gave me this point, and Anthony just said, Chris, my outline is and the point is so simple, a fifth grader could come up with it. And I was like, they might be able to read it, but they could not come up with this. If you're not careful, you're going to look back at your life and go, I never had what I could have had because I was complacent. Man, let me be really honest with you. Everybody's like, oh, you love to work out. One of the reasons I love to work out is I want my wife to be proud of me. I'm not kidding. You say, no. I want my wife walking and going, that's my husband. You ever see a woman walking down the street who's not proud of her husband? She's like 4 feet over, 3 feet behind. It's not because she's submissive. She's embarrassed. Oh, man, oh, my soul. I got to be married to him. Oh, my soul. Dude, I was on a flight coming back from Hawaii the other day. I can't remember if I was coming back or going. I was coming back because it was an Alaska flight. And I was coming back. And there was this dude, and I pay for the bigger seats. The staff rides with me. And I'm like, here, we'll pay for the cheap seats. And if you want to pay for the upgrade out of your own pocket, you can. Because it's like, I'm going to pay for this, but if you want bigger seats. They are so tight. Not a single one of them paid for the bigger seats. And I paid for the bigger seats. Why? Because I'm normal. I mean, that's just what you want. How many of you are not claustrophobic on airplanes, don't care where you sit? And how many of you are like that? How many of you are like me and love Jesus? All right, good. Well, there was this dude sitting behind me in the bigger seat, and his belly was brushing up against my chair. And like every time he moved, like I almost handed him some olive oil, like, bro, oil up. It'll make both of our rides a little bit better. No lie. Like he went to squeeze in, and when he squeezed in, it was like, man, I got whiplash. He forced my seat forward. I mean, I wasn't leaned back. I mean, dude, it's just, we become complacent in areas. Complacency kills. Number two, I got to move on. It's the little things that make or break the marriage. It's the little things that make or break the marriage. Everybody wants to talk about the big stuff. Solomon said in the Song of Psalms, or the Song of Solomon, Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse number 15, take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines. It's the little foxes. In business, in life, in church, it's almost, in your spiritual walk, it's almost always the little things that make or break everything. Leadership, it's almost always the little things. The big things have a way of taking care of themselves. As leaders, men, leaders in our family, one of our great responsibilities is to worry about the little things in the area of pursuing your spouse. It's the little things that matter. It's the little things that matter. Saying I love you adds up. Like every day. Like multiple times a day. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you. You say, I think it gets repetitive. I want it to be special. I don't know what planet you're on, but every time my wife says I love you, it feels special to me. Every time I say I love you to her, it feels special to her. Complimenting your husband adds up. Like, hey, thanks for going to the gym. Thanks for working out. Thanks for working. That adds up. Giving your wife a break on a busy Monday adds up. Men, putting your own laundry away adds up. Well, I was a dude, and this is just how I was raised. That's a stupid response, and I don't care at all. It's dumb. She's your wife, not your maid. If you want to treat her like your maid, start paying her to be your maid. You say, I don't have the money. Then pick up your own stuff. By the way, even if you paid for a maid, yes, your character and stewardship should pick up your own stuff. I read a book a few years ago entitled Make Your Bed, and I committed many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, that I would not get up in the morning unless Debbie was sleeping in without making my bed. I just thought about making it when she was in there. That did not go over well. So now, even when I stay at a hotel, I make my bed. I'm not, those nice little immigrant women that come into my room, they don't need to make my bed. I'm a big boy. And I'm not that cool that I need to make my own bed. Or that I need to make my own bed. I need somebody else to make my bed. Those things add up. We have laundry in our houses. And I take my clothes and I put them in the laundry. And then Debbie does the laundry. Why does Debbie do the laundry? Because she's weird. She's a perfectionist with it. She likes to do it her way. And she used to try to put my clothes away. And I'm like, you know what? I'll put my own clothes away. But you have to fold them. No, she likes to fold them. Again, she's a perfectionist about that part. But I'll put my own stuff. Those things really add up. It's the little things that add up. I wrote some more down. Smelling good adds up. Taking a shower adds up. Flirting with each other adds up. If you're dating, don't do it. If you're married, it's for you. It adds up. Enjoying a Tuesday night, relaxing and talking with your wife adds up. Putting the kids to bed so you can have sex without fear of interruption adds up. Training your kids so that when you put them to bed, they stay in bed and that they understand rules and that they understand God's authority in their life adds up. Taking something off your wife's plate on a stressful afternoon adds up. Praying for your wife when she doesn't know it adds up. It's the little things. Cleaning your wife's car adds up. Making sure it's clean. Debbie and I, we do not clean cars the same way. I don't get this woman at all. I like a clean car. Like, I have black rug or black interior. I have brown seats and black interior. So I love it because it allows me to see if there's a spot on the interior. How many of you dudes are like me? And then I see it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pick that out because nobody should drive around with dirty car. And if I have like 2 or 3 things on my floor, then I just feel creepy. Like, I would apologize to a cop if he pulled me over. Like, I'm not kidding you. It's just, if you know me, you know I'm being honest. And I sometimes guys around the church will clean my car for me, and I'm super thankful that they do. But I'm not really OCD. I'm just normal about it, and I want it incredibly clean. My wife, on the other hand, has no problem with there being like, I don't know, a McDonald's in her car. Like, every once in a while, we'll go somewhere, and she's just like, I'm like, hey, let's take your car. She goes, I think we should take yours. And we used to get in incredible fights about that until I said, you know what, babe? This is what we're going to do. We are not going to eat as well, but for the sake of our marriage, I'm going to buy you an unlimited car wash up here at Balboa Car Wash, and I want you taking your car through there every single week. And if you don't do it, I'm taking away your car. You say, would you take her away her car? No, because then I have to drive her around. But I was trying to let her to see my heart. And so we have a little different, but I want to make sure her car is clean. And I'll go check her, get her oil changed, and every once in a while fill up her car when she tells me it's low on gas or whatever. And before I do, she runs out there. Oh, let me get a few things. That woman comes in with like a U-Haul truck full of stuff as she gets it out of the car. Here's the thing. I just want to be a blessing to her because it's the little things that add up. And some of you are like, what's the big thing that's going to save my marriage? The big thing might be just focusing on the little things. Complimenting her for a meal. Saying, babe, you look good tonight. Hey, I noticed we're behind on laundry. How can I help? Should I start doing my own laundry? Should I start doing our laundry? How about if I put the kids to bed every night? My wife, we have 3 dogs. We thought we were only going to have 2. We were hoping one would die. Really were. Matter of fact, I'm getting our dogs professionally trained, and they said, how many dogs do you have in the house? And I'm like, we have 2, and we have one that's about to die. They're like, how close? I don't know. I thought he was going to die 4 years ago. She goes, oh, well, yeah, like he's getting better every day. Like, if you know anybody that wants a dog, let us know. We'll give him away. It's better than death, but I mean, it's just, and Debbie's like, we can't give him away. Why? We don't even like him. I've been trying to put him in the backyard so he'd get away because he'd make a great meal for a small coyote. And Debbie's, no. Well, anyway, we've got these dogs, and every night Debbie loves to put the dogs out at night. And she goes outside with them right before bed. She's like, it's our time together. Are you dating them? Like, what are you doing? And then she'll wake up in the morning. She's like, I've got a routine when I wake up. When I wake up and they start barking and everything, I just like, my routine is to yell at them. That's my routine. I mean, that's just who I am. And so she has this routine with them. But when she's not feeling well or under a little bit of stress, we don't have kids in the house anymore, but we've got puppies. And so it's like, you know what, babe, I'll take care of the dogs. Why don't you just go to bed? It's the little things. It's the little things. Number next, you need to pursue togetherness. Pursue togetherness. worship together, pray together, play together, and plan together. Worship together, pray together, play together, and plan together. Now, I'm going to be really candid with you. My wife and I do not have a lot of things in common that we really enjoy. She likes Hallmark. I like monster trucks. I would love to see Hallmark with monster trucks. That would be dope. But there's a lot of things we don't like together. I like sushi. How many are with me there? I like sushi. My wife, not so much. And now she's like, I can't eat it. I'm allergic to it. That's psychosomatic. I like working out. She'll work out with me. But we don't work out together. Why? Because I'm smart. But we'll go to the gym at the same time, and we leave at the same time. And we'll ride together in my clean car. We're going to play together. We like going to the beach together. We like hanging out. I like comedy. She likes to watch me laugh. And we're going to play. She likes stuff that makes her cry. I like to surf the internet on my phone while she watches it. We were talking about this the other day. We're weird this way because, like, when we're on vacation, and there's something about men, not all of you, I'm sure, but there's something about men, and maybe I'm putting myself out there. There's something about when I go on vacation, I want to do something rather difficult. Like, I don't just want to hang out on vacation. Like, if we're on vacation, anybody else in the room like me, like, I want to do something that really stretches me. Two of us love Jesus. That's good. That's good. Debbie is like, let's just go for long walks on the beach together, because it's not a vacation if it's cold, and it's not a vacation if there's not water. Can I get an amen? And so I love those places. And so the other day, January, we were in Santa Barbara, and I said, let's go for a walk on the beach. And she said, okay. I said, do you have an audiobook? She goes, yeah. Do you have your headphones? Yeah, I do too. I'll see you in a couple hours. And I took off. And she stayed behind me, and she's like, can't we talk the whole way? No, why? Because I want to do something. But we were always there. You say, well, that wouldn't work for me. I want to hold my husband's hand the whole time. We did that later. But I want to do something. And we've come to an agreement of pursuing one another, of playing together, of having fun together. Now, it's going to be unique to you. But you need to figure it out. It's going to be unique to you, but you have to figure it out. You have to have some really difficult, hard conversations of, babe, what do you enjoy doing? It's called pursuit. You're going to pursue it and pursue togetherness and pursue working together. What Debbie and I probably wouldn't work for you because you're not like me and Debbie, a type A driven guy and a type A driven lady who really want to pursue and love one another. That might not be who your family is. That's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. But you have to pursue togetherness, and you have to pursue worshiping together. You have to pursue praying together. You have to pursue playing together, and you have to plan together. We're going to Europe in May for the first time. Church was super gracious to send us there, and we've both been working on that trip, and Debbie's been working on the Italy side, and I've been working on the England-Paris side, and we're talking about it, and we're pumped about it, and I'm like, oh, we're going to go here, and she's like, oh, we should go here, so we're going there. We're going to go to Normandy, and we're going to go to the museum where the Mona Lisa is, and we're going to eat French food, and we're going to just wear red, white, and blue the whole time, and it's going to be awesome. But we want to plan together. You got to pursue togetherness. Togetherness will never happen. As a matter of fact, if you just think it will happen and you don't put effort into it, what will naturally happen is you'll begin to separate. And some of you have allowed separation for years. And now your marriages are so far apart that you barely know the stranger living in your house. This way you keep your heart with all diligence. For out of it are the issues of life. Number 4. Men lead the way. Men lead the way. I don't know why dudes expect for their wives to lead the way in these areas. God called you to be the leader. Ephesians chapter 5, verse number 23. The husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Gary Smalley said, I'll give you 2 quotes from Gary Smalley. He says, a woman's sparkling affection toward her husband is diminished when he begins to prefer other activities or people over her. Her sparkling affection towards her husband is diminished when he likes other stuff or other people more than her. He also said, for a marriage to flourish, a wife desperately needs to know she has a very special place in her husband's heart. Insofar as her husband's relationship with God should be the only priority above his relationship with her. If you want to change marriage, change men. Man, I believe this. I don't know where your marriage is at tonight. You may have come and things look good on the outside and then struggling on the inside. It may look like things are bad on the outside and they're bad on the outside and they may be bad on the inside. I don't know. But I will tell you this. I believe with all my heart, if some of you dudes would step up to the plate, your marriages will be different in a greater way. And it's not just your wife spreading eagle so you can get what you want. That's just not what it is. You've got to lead. You've got to be the chief pursuer. And you need a mission. You were created to carry out missions. If a man doesn't have an objective, he feels lost. He feels impotent without an objective. And if your objective is to come home and start, this is why I'm so against dudes playing video games and sitting online all the time and watching dumb shows and just hanging out. Why? Because it takes you off the mission God has called you to. And if your whole objective is, hey, I'm going to come home and I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to drink me a Mountain Dew or whatever your soda of choice is, and I'm going to eat me a bag of Funyuns or whatever your chip of choice is, and then I'm going to play video games till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night and get up and go to work, come home and do it all over again. Hey, you're just off mission. If you're a single dating dude, listen to me, and you're doing that, what you're doing is you're developing patterns of behavior that will carry you through the rest of your life. People say, well, Pastor, I really love video games. Is what? Like I'm going to change my thinking because you said it? You need a mission, an objective. And your objective is the care and well-being of your marriage and your family. I'm going to invest in my wife. I'm going to invest in our marriage. Well, you saying I can't have any fun? Are you saying playing video games is more fun than investing in a woman that has given her all to you and is a gift from the Creator God? Because you would rather sit with a headset and play Halo with friends somewhere across the world? When you have a wife sitting right there that God gave you and commanded that you love her as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it, are you kidding me? Bro, I love you. Don't bring that garbage in this house. I'll Dikembe Mutombo your stupidity. That gets rejected all day long. I don't know why my wife's not into me. Because you're into video games. And right now, some of you are like, well, he just doesn't know. It's a special connection for us. I'm not preaching against video games. I'm preaching against not pursuing your wife. I'm encouraging you to pursue your wife. Bernie Lund loves board games. I don't get it. I don't understand it. This dude wakes up in the morning thinking I wonder if we could have a board game. He just loves games. He just loves games. Like, hey, Pastor, you want to play a little bit of one-on-one? No, because you can't bounce a ball. It's not fun. Yeah, but it's a game. It'll be fun. Let's come up with you can shoot with your feet and I can use my hands. I'll still win. I'm kidding, I wouldn't. We were in Hawaii last week together, and he and a couple of the guys in the church, Burns the whole week, Burns hey, let's play Settlers of Catan. 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 Pastor, you want to play Settlers of Catan? No. Let's play. Pastor, you said you would play. I lied. I'm not playing Settlers of Catan. I thought if I said yes, you would be quiet and leave your stupid game here, but you actually brought it, and you brought a travel version so that you and Bo could play Settlers of Catan on an airplane, the two queerest dudes on the plane. They don't care. Are you kidding me? So we're like, let's go snorkeling, Zane and I. John Chavis, who can't swim, was like, Pastor, take me to deep water to die so I don't have to play board games. Not kidding at all. Like, please, Pastor, just get me out of the Settlers of Catan. And then Bernie drones on. It's raining outside. And I'm like, oh, no, because I know what's coming. No, please, no, Jesus, come back. John and I started fasting immediately for the rapture. John, go without food. Start vomiting, John. Let's just pray to God. And Bernie starts droning on about the rules of Settlers of Catan. I'm telling you, terrorists would give up every secret in about 5 minutes as Bernie starts talking about this rule and this rule and this rule and this rule. And 21-year-old Bo is over there going, oh, okay, yeah, that's good. Oh, okay, can I do it? And so John and I are just like, are you kidding me? So we start trying to distract him by playing dry bar comedy and some really funny, clean comedians. And then Zane Garza, who used to work at Canyon Ridge Baptist Church, Zane Garza goes, oh, I'll play with you guys on this one. And then those dudes, that's all that I don't get it. I find it repulsive. I think it's dumb. John and I were just trying to pray. And I'm kidding, we weren't. And seriously, they had a wonderful time. But this is what I loved about it, that they did it at the appropriate time in the appropriate way with the appropriate people. I'm not against video games. I'm not against playing games. I'm not against having fun at any stretch of the day. Appropriate time, appropriate place, appropriate people. Man, you have to lead the way. You lead the way. Your kids are out of the house. You and your wife enjoy playing, I don't know, Candy Crush together. It's weird, but do it. Ladies, number 5, I got to finish. Number 5. Oh, this is a quote super helpful to me. Putting your wife in the number 1 slot doesn't shackle you to your house. It frees you from the dread of going home. Putting your wife in the number 1 slot doesn't shackle you to your house. It frees you from the dread of going home. Number 5, ladies, help him succeed. Help him succeed. Would you be a woman worthy of being pursued? Debbie can elaborate on this maybe tomorrow in the Q&A, but I'm just going to be honest with you. When I come home, I don't want a wife in pajamas. Dress the part of a woman being pursued. I'm not saying you got to be dressed like you're going on a fancy date or anything, but come on. Dress decent. Well, I just want to be comfortable. Well, where does that end? Where does that end? Be pursuable. Praise frequently his attempts at pursuing you. He's going to fail. We're all going to mess up. But praise his attempts. Be thankful that he's trying. It won't always be what you want. But find joy in the attempt. Discover his needs. Men need to be admired. Men need to be loved. Men need to be understood and accepted. Sometimes the reason your husband acts silly and does bizarre things, maybe even makes unwise purchases, he's seeking attention. In the parenting education field, it's literally called attention-seeking behavior. If your husband is one of your homies, it's not going to go well. He needs to be your knight in shining armor. Well, if he'd act like a knight, treat him like one and see how he starts acting. Treat him like one and see how he starts acting. He needs your help. If he puts on 7 pounds of cologne and you're like, oh my word, the whole house, be thankful that he doesn't smell like fish, rotten meat. Ladies, help your husbands out. Number next, I think it's 6. Keep pursuing. When's the last time you had a date night? Now, I'm at a new stage of life. We are empty nesters except for the dogs. And the daughters that have access to our house and come over at all weird times of their life. But I can get in the mode of like every night's a date night for us. There's no kids here. Because how many remember when you had little kids, date night consisted of kids being gone. You didn't have to go anywhere to have date night. But as you get older and your kids are out of the house, Debbie, I took her, we went out, I took her because she asked, she's like, can we go somewhere nice? And I was like, sure, Chipotle. And I was like, sure, we can go somewhere nice. And she was serious, and we went out on a date and had a great time. And she looked at me, she goes, I forgot how much fun it is to get dressed up and go out together. Click. Okay. We're going to New York City next week. Guess what we'll be doing? We'll be going to some nice places. Keep pursuing. Keep planning. Keep working. Communicate. 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 Communicate things about your day. Communicate about your fears and your feelings. Like literally, on the back table as we have a break in about 5 minutes or less, you'll see 28 romantic conversation prompts. This is for married couples only because some of them deal with sex, but not all of them. And you say, well, I want it to be organic. Nothing grows without a seed. And so what these are just a seed to help you grow. And you should learn to read through them, take a picture, put it on your phone, and have a file. I don't know how they do it on Androids. They probably Fred Flintstone chisels it for you. But on an iPhone, you can have a file, and you just put it on date night conversations and take a picture and you put it on there. And then before the date night, maybe you could just read through that, and it's refreshed in your mind what you should be doing. And communicate and talk and speak. Show respect and encourage. Spend time together. Spend time together. And as I taught last year, have sex often. That's not the beginning and end all of the relationship, but it is important to the relationship. I told you last year, the goal of 400 a year, 400 times a year. You say, well, that's dumb. It's a goal. It's an objective. We had to work at it. Sometimes we got to sleep late. Sometimes we woke up early. But it's an objective. It's a fun objective, but we worked to that end. And so keep pursuing. Don't give up. Don't turn inward. Turn outward and pursue your spouse with a passion that God has called you to pursue her with. So a couple questions to think about. What are some things that you did when you were first dating to pursue your spouse? Do those. Another question. How did things change once you got married? What are the roadblocks to pursuit in your marriage? What keeps you from pursuing your spouse? And how is rejection damaging your marriage? For some of you, I'm going to teach tomorrow, one of the quick things I'm going to teach is 7 ways to write a love note. Some of you just need to go home and write a love note. Love notes will change your marriage. They just change your marriage. And so my prayer is tonight that you will have a heart to pursue your spouse.
Thank you for listening. Hear more messages anytime at canyonridgebaptist.com. If you're in the San Diego area, please join us for a service. We meet on Sundays at 8:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m., and 5 o'clock p.m. We look forward to seeing you.